Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another video on this channel. And today I'm doing another vlog. And as you can see, I am wearing an apron. I am in my kitchen right now. And today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make some bread. And the specific bread that we have today is called Matlou. It's a Morocan Country Bread. And this is a bread that I made last week while I was in class. And as some of you may know, in my personal life right now, I am attending culinary school, and I can't say which one it is, even though it's on my apron. I gotta keep that classified, but this is something that I felt was a very simple recipe to make, and it's also a very delicious one. And I'm not gonna say that I'm an expert at this at all. This is gonna be my probably third time making this, and I'm following a recipe that I was given. So if it's not authentic, please don't blame me. I'm just doing what I'm told, and I have my recipe card right here. But anyways, let's get to it. So first things first is you gotta make sure that you are in a warm environment. It doesn't have to be hot, but it has to be a place that is warm. Just like with anything in bread making, we want our yeast. I'm gonna show my other camera right here. Our yeast to be able to, to develop when it's mixed with, the flours and whatnot. Because if it's a cold environment, the yeast is not gonna, expand. It's not gonna activate. So you need to have a warm environment. So right now, even though it's spring, I have my heater on, so it's kind of, I'm not sweating, but I know it's pretty warm, and I don't want it to be a cool environment. But anyways, I'm gonna walk you guys through, the ingredients. So I'm doing a half recipe since I'm gonna be the only one eating this. So everything here calls for like two cups of this, 2 teaspoons of this, 2 tablespoons of this. So it's a very simple thing you could follow. But I'm halving the recipe, so I'm just doing, half portion. So I'm doing 1 cup of whole wheat flour, which is right here. 1 cup of semolina, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt. I forgot which one is which for the sugar and salt, but it doesn't matter, it's all going in. 2 tablespoons, or actually 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, and 1 teaspoon of rapid rise instant yeast, and also 1 cup of water. 1 cup of water. So simple ingredients. You could easy to memorize. 1 cup, 1 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon, 1 tablespoon. So it's a very simple thing to make. All right. So anyways, this is gonna be my first time doing this by hand, because when I was in class, we had these kitchen aids and the dough mixer. So I'm gonna be doing this by hand. So I don't know how it's gonna turn out, to be honest, but I'm gonna do my best. All right. So what we're gonna do first, we're gonna mix all the dry ingredients. Boom. Hopefully you can see that right here, camera guy. Mix all the dry ingredients first. Boom. Boom. Make sure you practice good mise en place. Then I'm gonna add my yeast. I think it's yeast. Do I add my yeast in there? Yeah, everything. Okay. So I'm gonna put this away. Clear my space. Have my water and my olive oil right here. So I'm just gonna get one of these paddles, and I'm gonna mix these dry ingredients first. Get them. So I'm making all this live right now, so I don't have a dough that's pre-made right now, so I'm just gonna edit this video, right? But if I mess up, I'm not gonna post this video. Hopefully I don't. All right, once I got everything kind of mixed together, I'm gonna add my olive oil to kind of create this gritty consistency right here. Boom. I could be doing this by hand, but right now I don't want to get my hands dirty. I will, though, eventually after letting it rest for a bit, use the bench to knead it out. But I'm gonna get that gritty. Hopefully this angle is correct. You can see the angle. But try to get some little grits in there. It doesn't have to be super perfect. All right. So I'm just mixing this. Boom. Hopefully this video is not too long because a big file means more space on my hard drive. All right, just do that for a bit. Then I'm gonna slowly add some water. So I have 1 cup of water here. I'm just gonna slowly add it, slowly incorporate it. Boom, to there. The second time that I made this, I just threw all the water at once and it still worked out. But I also had a KitchenAid to help me, mix it. I don't have a KitchenAid, so just keep slowly adding water until it forms into some type of dough-looking thing. Boom. Slowly add some water. One thing about baking is you got to get the measurements right. It's a science. The difference between baking and cooking is with cooking you can kind of add on and stuff like that, but with baking you got to get the fine ingredients correct. Just keep adding this water. So you got to trust the process, Sometimes it doesn't look like it. Sometimes there's doubts. But you just got to trust the process, just like when God is working through us. Trust the process. All right. I'll try to get as much scraping as possible. Now I'm just going to add the whole thing. Getting impatient. See, getting formed into a pretty good mixture here. Boom. You see that? It's coming together. Hands getting tired a little bit. You gotta keep grinding. Gotta keep mixing. If I had a KitchenAid, I would have been done 2 minutes ago. But I don't. Good thing this is a half recipe too. Because if it was a full recipe, this dough would be twice as big. And my muscles would be working. Slightly sweating right now. Good. Here, that's mixed well. I could let it rest for a bit. Let it rest for 5 minutes, then go back at it. So, I'll take a break. All right, so I think that was about 5 minutes, and I'm gonna start kneading it again, all right? So, that once the dough is soft and tacky to the touch, that's when I'll let it rest again for 10 minutes, then work on the bench. But I'm just gonna keep doing this. Tell you what, I think that is good. Put this away. Cover it again. I'm going to pause the video. So 10 minutes. All right, so that's about 10 minutes. And I know you didn't see it, but I actually moved this over to a warmer spot next to my heater. Because I noticed that the surface was a little bit cold to the touch. But it should be fine. All right, so now we have this blob. You can tell it rose a little bit. It grew a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to knead it by hand, and I have some bench flour, which is the wheat flour that is in the dough. Cover my bench with it. It's also that. Then I'm going to scoop this out like this, and make sure you wash your hands, because I think I forgot. And I was touching something. I was reading my Bible, but it's okay. All right, and now what we want to do is we want to knead this by hand until it's nice and doughy like. It's a very interesting texture. Bread always has a interesting feel to it. It feels like it's alive. But the recipe says to knead it for 5 minutes. Feel free to keep adding more flour. I will stop right there. And I'll grab this little box. It's not as smooth as I've made it before, but again, you know, different variables. And put it in this little box to try and proof it a bit. And put some olive oil. Maybe that's too much. I'm gonna spread it out. If I had the spray, it'd be easier, but I don't have a spray. I know you can't see it off camera, but I'm gonna go put it in a warm place. So what that does, it allows it to bulk ferment, and the yeast is gonna do its work, and it's gonna hopefully expand and rise. But if I didn't do this right, it's not gonna expand. But if I did do it right, it will expand. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so that's about 30 minutes. As we can see, as I open up this, I don't know if you can see it from there already, but it grew by a lot. Look at that. It used to be this small, but now it's, look how much it grew in 30 minutes. And it's kind of oily. I probably used too much oil, but it's okay. But now what we're gonna do now is we are gonna shape it, and I'm gonna use this as a plate. Let's see. Okay. Right. Oh, comes out. Look at that. Boom. Let's see. It's about 572 grams. Right, I'm going to divide that. What's 572 divided by 2? Now what we're going to do, we'll form these into balls. One tray right here. We'll do this technique right here. Turn it into little balls like that, okay? I don't know how to teach this technique. All you got, you're just rolling. What I'm gonna do, so I'm just gonna smash these. Make sure it gets, so it doesn't stick to my hand. All right, I'm gonna wash my hands. I'm gonna cover these again. Kind of give it some more warmth. Hopefully it ferments well right here, because I'm not gonna put it where I put all the other stuff. But yeah, so just wait, hang out, I think for 10 minutes. Well, actually, another 30 minutes. Yeah, that was time for another 30 minutes. So that was about 30 minutes. Let's uncover our bread. I just got back from doing chores, by the way. I was folding my clothes and doing my laundry. But now look how puffy these are. Looks like they're good to go, but we gotta test them first. Just like with everything, we gotta test it. Yes, I made that. So what we do is, I gotta wash my hands first real quick. Forgot. Always gotta wash your hands. I was doing laundry, so. All right, so what we gotta do is we're just gonna press them to see, and as you can tell, I left a little indent if it was good to go, it would spring back up. But since it's not, and it's already been 30 minutes, what we're gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to prick some holes in them, and I'm gonna use a toothpick. We're just gonna make little holes. So since one is like that, all of them we have to assume are like that. So I'm just gonna then we should be good to go. So I'm gonna flip the camera over here. Hopefully the camera doesn't go out of focus and you can see me here. I'm just gonna turn this on, get the burners on. I have an electric stove, so it's gonna be a little bit trickier. So what we're gonna do is try to get this nice and hot. You can feel it's cool to the touch. You could even put some oil there, but I'm just gonna not do it for this trial. But I have my bread ready to go. I'm just gonna, cook them or bake them stovetop. You can kind of feel the heat there. Waiting. So while we're waiting, I guess I can talk to you guys about scripture, something that I've been reading that reminds me of bread making or just bread in general. So the scriptures that I'm referencing comes from the book of John, chapter 6, verses 22 to 50, something like that. But this account that I'm referencing is an account of Jesus after he fed 5,000 people, 5,000 men plus women and children, using only 5 loaves and 2 fish. So he did a miracle that allowed the whole congregation or the whole crowd to be fed. So he multiplied bread and multiplied fish. And the people, they were looking for him afterwards, and they found him in Capernaum, and they told him, "Rabbi, when did you get here?" And Jesus responds to this by saying, "The only reason that you're seeking me is," or he knows truthfully that you're seeking me because I fed you, not because you understood the miracle that I did. But rather than spending your energy seeking perishable things like bread and food, you should spend your time seeking the eternal life that the Son of Man has to offer you. And the people respond to this by saying, "Show us another miracle so that we could believe in you." Even our ancestors, they ate manna from heaven when they were going through the wilderness. And the scriptures say that Moses gave them manna from heaven. And Jesus responds to this by saying, "Truthfully, I tell you that Moses didn't give them manna from heaven. It was my Father. But now the true bread, the true manna from heaven is being offered to you. And the true bread of God is the one who comes from heaven and gives his life to the world." And the people responded by saying, "Oh, give us this bread every day." And Jesus responds to this by saying, he says, "I am the bread that comes from heaven, and anyone who comes to me will never grow hungry. Anyone who comes to me will never grow thirsty. And I have come not to do my own will, but to do the will of the Father who sent me. And his will is this, that anyone that he gives to me, I will not lose. And those that believe in the name of the Son of God, they will have eternal life, and I will raise them at the last day." And, these people hear this, and, they were even asking him, we want to do the will of God. What can we do? Or we want to do the works of God. What can we do to do the works of God? And Jesus tells them that this is the work of God, to believe in the one that he has sent. Oh, we're reaching 200 degrees. I think it's a good time to start cooking this bread. But anyways, so Jesus is the bread that comes from heaven. And he says, the work of God is to believe in him and to understand. So yeah, let's start cooking this bread now. Hopefully it works. Boom. Boom. I think I could fit all 6 of these here. Boom. I don't know if it's hot enough. I think, oh well, I already sent it. Let us scoot over you. Okay. Nice and fluffy bread. So let's look at these angles. Look at that, beautiful. Maybe I should have put oil. It's all right. As long as it's hot enough. It's at 250, 260. Should be good. Gotta check this regularly. Let it cook, and traditionally you're supposed to char these as well, so it's okay to get some dark spots on there. That's part of the tradition, I guess. And I personally like them a little bit more, not as dark, as long as they're fully cooked and have a good texture. So I'm gonna turn that off. You see there's a little bit of browning there. I'm just gonna keep that way. Put them right here. Stack them. And it's kind of hot over here. Oh no! Oh shoot. Look at that. Charred it. Still good. Still good. Accidents happen, but we'll try this out, okay? See, look at, oh, it's hot. Let's look at the interior. Good. Get some of that honey butter. Put it on there. So good. Well, yeah, that's it. Hopefully you try this at home. Thank you for watching. Until next time, God bless.